Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. Well, almost could say this afternoon, as late as it is. I didn't load till 2 yesterday, and I had enough time, and I wanted to get through Chicago in the middle of the night so I wouldn't have to deal with the morning traffic, which is what I'd done. So I'm just now getting up and getting ready to get started on my day. But yesterday was a good example of me of waiting on God to answer a prayer or anything. And I say that because where I was at, it took over 2 hours to post yesterday's video because I didn't have a signal. I had to retry a number of times, and eventually it posted, and the message on the YouTube site took all day because of same thing, lack of a signal. And then I would start driving, and then it would time out, and then when I would stop, I would restart reposting it. But it's a good example of, it's something that's easy to do, and because I didn't have a signal, I couldn't post that message quickly like I normally would have. But when you think about that, in that when we're waiting on God to answer prayer or whatever the case may be, He's not going to do it right away. He's going to take His time, because everything is done at His time and His pace and so forth. We can try and rush it and jump ahead of Him, but if we do, we normally mess up whatever we was waiting on Him to answer prayer about. We normally mess that up big time, to where if it ain't a disaster, it's pretty close to being one. But we have to learn patience, waiting on the Lord to answer prayer and to lead us. That doesn't mean we just stop what we're doing and just sit in a chair and wait. We still continue forward, but there's that you get that feeling of knowing when you should hold off or when you feel led to continue. So, but there's some verses I want to share this morning. They're out of Psalms, the 62nd chapter. The first 2 verses: my soul waits in silence for God only. From Him is my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I shall not be greatly shaken. So while we're waiting, we're still studying His Word, and we're still trying to grow in our faith, so that when we do get that answered prayer for whatever we're praying about, we're ready to press forward. There's a passage that I thought about looking it up, and I didn't do it. It's in the Old Testament. It's in Psalms, and it talks about a deer pants for water as my soul longs for you. I might have misphrased it wrong, but that's the gist of it. And I always think of that verse when I take my time and I'm listening for God's answer on something. Does it get aggravating that it takes a while to get an answer? Yes, very aggravating. Sometimes, no matter how strong your faith is or how strong your walk is, it feels like the prayers are not getting past the ceiling. But that's where that patience comes in on waiting for the Lord. And I'm going to close with verses 5 through 8 out of this same Psalm 62nd chapter. And it goes like this: my soul wait in silence for God only, for my hope is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation, my stronghold. I shall not be shaken. O God, my salvation and my glory rest. The rock of my salvation, my refuge is God. Trust in Him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Think about that. They emphasize stronghold and rock. These are powerful images, and that's the image we should have when we're patiently waiting on the Lord for answered prayer. We should be strong as we wait. We should be just bathing in His glory, no matter how long it takes to answer a prayer. So if you're struggling today with waiting on an answer for answered prayer, take a look at Psalms, the 62nd chapter. Read the words. Just dwell on them. And verse 8, trust in him at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us.